everyone, it's Jaeden here from ActivateFit.Gym, and today I'm going to be taking you through a video covering the rotational movements of the transverse plane. Now, the transverse plane is essentially one of the three planes that we divide all movements up into, and it covers anything that is rotational in nature. So, for example, we cut the body in half through here, and anything that is rotating from the upper body or rotating from the lower body is taken in there into that plane of movement known as the transverse plane. So I'm going to be taking you through a couple of moves that take advantage of that. The reason we like to focus on the transverse plane is that typically rotational movements will engage a lot more of the core muscles and the stabilizing muscles of the trunk. And because of that, they do tend to get neglected unless we try and place specific focus on those movements. So it is a great inclusion into your workouts if you can try and make sure you get a few of those rotational movements. And then if you're doing that through your own exercise, then your real world carryover effect is going to be that you're going to reduce your risk of injury when you have to lift and shift things in an awkward position and there's a bit of rotation in there. We all know how easy it is to go and pull a muscle doing something like that when you're not really thinking about it. So this is going to help with that. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first of the three exercises I'm going to take you through is called a Russian twist. Now the setup for this one, basically sitting on the bones of the bum here, I'm just going to lift my feet off the floor like so, and I'm going to engage the core as much as I can and control the movements as I slowly rotate over one side and back the other way. So nice and slow, keeping the trunk as straight and still as I can as I rotate across, and that's it. Now I can easily add a load to this exercise as well, so if you wanted to grab your shopping bag, grab a large water bottle, anything that you've got at home that you can add as a load to that workout. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Just obviously judge it based on how you go with the exercise. Okay, so next up we're going to do the lying windshield wipers. So this is essentially starting on the laying position like this. I'm going to bring my arms out to the side for a little bit of stability here. Now we can start off with either the legs bent, which is a little bit easier, or you can straighten them out as it gets a little bit easier. But I'm just going to show you the legs bent variation, essentially starting out like this, and I'm going to slowly rotate over to the side, and then back to the middle, and over to the other side. Now I'm keeping my core nice and engaged as I move, and I'm trying not to drop all the way to the floor, just so that it doesn't quite push the back too far into that range of motion. So nice and easy, just over, control the descent, and back to the center, and over the other side. So the last of the three movements, I'm going to be doing a woodshop. So essentially, or it's kind of like a reverse woodshop if you think about the actual movement of chopping wood, but essentially I'm going to start out in a nice wide stance here, so legs out wide, and I'm going to start with my load, which as you can see here, I've got my shopping bag. It's going to start over to the bottom of one side of the movement, so weight onto the starting position side there, so my left leg in this case, weight over to my left hip, and essentially I'm going to start nice and low, and I'm going to work on cutting a nice diagonal line across my body as I shift my weight to the other side and use the trunk to rotate through. So I'm bringing it up and across. And I'm going to do all my reps on the one side first, so back to this starting position, and up, down, up. And obviously you can change the load here as to whatever weight you'd like to do. And if you wanted to make the exercise harder, you can keep the weight further away from the body like I am at the moment, so arms nice and straight as I go up. Or I can, keep the weight, it's a little bit heavier, a little bit harder, keep it a little bit closer to the body as I rotate across. But the emphasis is really on the rotation of the trunk, so I'll do a couple from the other side here. Weight over to the other leg, bag over here, starting from the lower hip, and really rotating through and driving up. Awesome, so those were the rotational movements of the transverse plane. Hope you enjoyed that video there. Those exercises are going to be a great way to really bring a bit more rotational movements to your workouts. And they engage a lot of muscles in the body as well, so you can be sure that they're really working for you and increasing the stability through the trunk and core muscles, and hopefully reducing the risk of injury in day-to-day life for you there too. As always, you can check out more info in the post, so have a bit of a look at that and keep an eye out for our future videos. Thanks.